Northman, and I'm here today at Rockaway Conservation Area in Rockaway, Ontario. There's a beautiful set of waterfalls in this region. Let's go out and have a look at them. As soon as you hit the trails at Rockaway, you can immediately see the beautiful gorge behind me. Originally, this area would have been a huge, massive river. The river carved away at the rock over millions and millions of years and chipped it away, leaving behind the gorge that we have today. Panoramic vistas are one of the many things that this park offers. As you can see here, you can see part of the Niagara region's heartland, which is farms, tender fruit, grapes, things like that. Off in the distance, you can see Lake Ontario, and on a clear day, you can even see Toronto. The Niagara region has been slammed with windstorms over the past couple of weeks. As you can see here, the devastation is quite impressive. These trees have basically been bent over and uprooted as a result of that storm. Although these trees have been uprooted and it might be quite a tragedy to some people, the reality is it's actually very good for the forest to have trees come down. When trees come down, they will biodegrade into the soil slowly, and they'll create a habitat for things like bugs and chipmunks and all sorts of other creatures. So it's not really necessarily a bad thing, it's just part of the way nature goes. So I've made my way down into the gorge at Rockaway, and as you can see beside me here, we have the exhaust of the falls, which is a small creek. Now, one thing that I'll notice right away down here is that the temperature feels a little different, and that there's different species of moss, different species of fern, and even different species of trees that wouldn't normally grow here in Canada. That's because this area is called Carolinian forest. It's actually a biodiversity area, and it's kind of important, ecologically speaking, because of the kind of species that grow here. There's certain animals and plants and bugs that we'll find in this area that we won't find anywhere else in Canada. Downstream of any waterfall always carries its surprises. As you can see here, there are pieces of human history everywhere, including this set of rollers. Now, I've seen these kind of rollers several places before in the area. Let's go down and have a closer look at them. So while I have no real idea what these things are, when I have a look here, I can see that they're made out of rubber. They seem to be maybe old tires or something like that, possibly rollers from some kind of machining process. Over time, they must have been thrown out or dumped from where they were, the factory where they were used, and they ended up going over the falls, and they ended up here. Unfortunately, unless someone has some kind of equipment to remove this or to bring it up, it's going to stay here for a long, long time, because it's far beyond my abilities to just throw this over my shoulder and bring it up. Although we're some distance away from the main waterfall, as soon as we round the corner, all sorts of smaller waterfalls come into view. There's a lot of evidence here that nature is still working. As you can see, there's been millions of years of sediment rock being pulled away and carved in. But as you look down here to the modern day waterfall, you can see that it's still being pulled and carved and formed by the water. What a beautiful sight indeed. Evidence of this area's past is everywhere. Although this giant rock has fallen from the cliffs above, you can actually see these little ripple lines. And all these ripple lines are actually a result of water that's been passing over this rock for millions and millions of years and actually eaten away the rock itself. As almost everybody knows, forests are filled with trees. This particular tree is kind of unique in that it has actually managed to grow in rock. Over time, the little tree has taken hold of the rock bed, which we can see here, and has grown and grown and grown, completely embedded in the rock. Now, the tree will push into the rock, take advantage of small holes, glacier potholes, things like that, and managed to take root. This is just another way to see how spectacular and beautiful nature really can be. This piece of rock is permeated by what we call glacier potholes. And what glacier potholes are pieces of rock that are indented by small rocks from the departing glacier. When the glaciers left this area around 10,000 years ago, debris and things like that were stuck in the liquefied part of the glacier. These rocks would have hit this rock and spun around like this over and over and over again and actually burrowed into this section of rock. Glacier potholes are nearly almost always round, and that's from the spinning action of what's gone on here. Trees truly are miracles of nature. As you can see here, this tree has managed to grow right out of the rock. And down at the base of the rock, the tree over time has changed direction and grown from what would have been not upright and turned itself around to actually be upright. Absolutely amazing. So as you can see, there's an awful lot to see here at Rockaway Falls. Not just the beautiful waterfall itself. There's all sorts of pieces of natural history here, and sometimes even a little bit of a human history, if you're lucky. So I'd like to thank you for watching this video. Please consider subscribing. I'm the Wolfman, and thanks for watching.